What's up, America? This is Kim and Neil with Geauga Firearms Academy. Thanks for watching. Today we're going to talk about our experience at SHOT Show 2023. But before we begin, I want to let you guys know we just started a TikTok at Geauga Firearms. So please go give us some love. We're brand new and we could use your support.
And there's already a couple videos up there.
Yeah, I made a fun video about the dogs I saw.
The dogs of SHOT Show. If you guys haven't been there, there's a boatload of them. It's really, really cool.
Neil thought I was crazy chasing the dogs around filming them.
No, the people thought she was crazy. So there's a bazillion videos out there from a bunch of great reviewers and stuff out there about all the little booths that you can go to. I shouldn't say little, all the booths out there. I mean, what was it, 14 miles?
Yeah, about 14 miles of aisles to walk through.
And somebody did like the calculation. If you went to every booth from Monday when it started till Friday till it was ending, and you were there the entire time, and you could only spend like 40 seconds. I mean, it's hard to comprehend the actual size. So let's talk first about if you've not gone to SHOT Show, but you're considering it, or you're trying to make time, some of the things that you want to consider.
Lots of walking. You will walk all day. And there are not very many places to sit down, like even and get food even. Like they were not ready for us when we came.
I was kind of surprised by that. I mean, this is not like the first time SHOT Shows happened, and I thought there was a big lack of seating and food.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, unless you just want like a sub or pizza, right? I mean,
yeah, even that,
like
you had to walk. There wasn't that much seating. You were like sharing a table with people.
Yeah, and keep in mind when you go like into the hotel, I mean, you're gonna spend $35 for that cheeseburger.
Oh, yeah.
So I would say that next time we go, maybe we'll plan a little bit better on as far as bringing our own stuff. And Kim and I don't eat carbs, so pizza and subs are kind of a... So as far as experience, by the way, this was the first time we were able to go because there's always some calamity.
I'm either pregnant or Neil had a surgery or COVID or I don't know.
Or a hurricane.
Yeah, something happened. So this is our first time actually getting to go. We were like, we're going this year. It was huge. It's so big. They give you an app, but it's so hard to find anything because there's multiple levels. And by the time you start figuring out, it's time to leave.
Yeah.
Pretty much, so like once you get the layout.
The Venetian, there's 2 levels. There's Caesars, and it's so big. They actually built the temporary ramp for
like
SHOT
a
Show.
Bridge to connect the Caesars
ramp,
for them.
Yeah, it goes over this. You don't have to cross traffic. I mean, it's pretty insane. And there's actually, technically, there's 5 levels to it. And certain areas, like, for example, the law enforcement only area, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But what did you think about overall? Like,
there was just so many people, and I think they said over 115 countries, so it was amazing. We'd be standing in line, and one time there was like a guy behind me from Ghana and another guy from Guatemala. Like, it was crazy. There's all different people. Definitely a boys' world. I mean, the one time when the girls' bathroom was way shorter than the men's. It was pretty amazing.
But I was also shocked with, you expect other than SIG, if you follow the industry, they pulled out. But I mean, as far as the main manufacturers, they're going to have huge booths, and they have meeting rooms, and I'm like, there's a second story to a lot of these.
To their booth, not to the actual thing. Like their booth is multi-story.
Yeah,
it's pretty
exactly.
amazing.
Yeah. So they could have a meeting on the second floor. Anyway, so you expect that kind of stuff, but then you would see, and I don't understand how they even how it works.
The flea market.
Yeah. There was like stuff there that you would expect at like a crappy rural gun shop. I'm like, how's this guy selling knickknacks? Like I don't know. That part was kind of odd. And then how it was all broken up, like the basement levels and then the higher levels and then the main like showroom. It was pretty interesting, I guess, overall from the range of vendors that you would see there. All right, what do you think about accommodations? How should
we went a different route than most. We rented a car and then we rented a house in Henderson, which is like 20 minutes away.
Which I recommend.
Yeah, we'd like that better. But we're not really like club people, and that's just not, especially you walk around all day. The last thing you want to do is go walk some more. So it's like, I just wanted to go get some food, and we had a place with a jacuzzi, chill out.
Yeah, I mean, so honestly, it was a 3-bedroom house with 2 bathrooms, a jacuzzi, and
a pool
table, and it was less than if we would have picked one of the basic rooms at one of those hotels. For the 20-minute drive, I thought it was well worth it personally, just to get away from all. I mean, keep in mind, I don't know, maybe you're just like an ultimate extrovert, but I don't really like people. So
there were a lot of people.
It was nice to just get away and just be quiet and and kind of
And the locals were so nice. I was shocked. Like I was like, everyone when we met that lived there was like so nice to us.
Yeah.
It's like a nice California.
Yeah. But there's no grass at all anywhere.
But it's pretty. It's desert pretty. It's very pretty. As far as products go and things that we've seen, we saw a lot of cool stuff. We've actually started buying some of it already. Our credit card, our poor credit card. But when we were halfway to the airport, we realized we didn't bring our full camera and everything. We left at like 3 a.m., so I'm not surprised we forgot it. So I did take some footage of it. I'm gonna roll in here. We got to check out some new guns. We also found these really cool new targets we're gonna get soon this year for class. When you shoot them, they like put.
Don't tell the secrets.
Oh, sorry. You know, you get to dress them like people. It's going to be really cool. We have a new medical thing coming. It's like a, how would you describe it?
It's basically a limb that has actual
blood that flows.
Blood that flows, but more importantly, it also, the blood specifically clots just like real blood. So like when you use a clotting agent, quick clot or whatever, impregnated when we're doing our stop the bleed classes, you'll actually see what that looks like. How does it clot? What's that how that works? And then it's also being pressurized, so you actually know, is that tourniquet on actually stopping the flow? Is the packing really working? Do you have enough pressure? So I think it's going to add a level of realism that's going to be pretty exciting. And we're also going to incorporate that into our defensive classes. So, and we do that now with church security training and stuff like that. But this will be something that we can also add, so you kind of can do the field medical training while being and using your firearm for defensive stuff. So
yeah, so we'll do a quick little video when we get it, so you guys can see it and how it works and everything. I think anything where you can add a little bit more realism to training helps a lot.
Absolutely.
We also got this really cool video of Neil getting shocked by these gloves.
How cool it was.
It's going to be bad when they make you sign a waiver and then everyone starts gathering around with their phones out. I'm going to make a special video explaining it all, because I think there's a lot we could talk about with that. And I also put out a YouTube short and also a TikTok video about that, so you can check out those, but we're going to have a longer video where you can see more about those.
And as far as how you get in the SHOT Show, I mean, it's pretty difficult unless you're obviously in the industry or law enforcement, something of that nature. We went as our training academy, but next year we're going to go as media for the YouTube side of things, because there's like a special room they told us about.
You can sit down.
Yeah, you can sit down. Yeah, sorry. And so we're going to try that. So if you guys are YouTubers yourselves or whatever, and you have a business that does that, I would probably tell you to steer towards the media route, rather than if you have some other, like us, like a trainer or something like that.
Other cool things, we got to see some of our local people, Ohio Ordnance. We went and visited their booth as soon as we went in. They had crazy things out there, had vehicles and all sorts of cool rifles and things like that. So I'll put some footage of them in there.
And since most of you don't know who that is, that's a company that supplies the military with some very cool ordnance.
We're at SHOT Show. We're here at SHOT Show, but we're still supporting our local people. We're at the Ohio Ordnance booth. It's crazy big. We're going to show you a few quick things. We also got to see Blade Tech. We also finally got to meet Carl from Core Essentials. Neil's been wearing their belts forever, and we've been emailing, things like that, but it was fun to finally get to meet him, and he's a really nice guy. He's making all sorts of new products. He's got a backpack coming out. He's got a knife. He's got another duty belt, doesn't he?
He's got a brand new duty belt coming out that hasn't been released yet. And he's already had sunglasses. We already demoed those. Those are pretty rock solid as well. And he also has watches, so maybe we'll take a look at that. But they're actually pretty impressive. They got Swiss movement in them. Another
Ohio company we stopped by and checked out was HRT. Neil has one of their battle belts he's going to review. So we got to see their booth and meet them. Another great group of people. We thought we'd tell you our funny flying story. So when
it's only funny now.
Yeah. When we flew in, we were lucky. We had one straightway there. We actually got to fly in with Mr. and Mrs. Patch Ops, which they make all of our patches and decals. They are great people, and they make hilarious stuff. So I'll put a link for their...
yeah, if you guys need morale patches or custom patches. By the way, what's also something we're going to be doing coming up for this year is our classes. We're going to make unique patches that you can earn based on performance and
for that class specifically. So you have to earn it.
They won't be sold anywhere except by attending the class. So something kind of unique to take with you.
So that went smooth and well. Everything went good. And then the way home, we left a day early because we have our daughter. She's 2, and we had to get back to the babysitter and everything. And when we were flying back, we hit a storm, and it
was only supposed to be 3.5 hours, because we have a tailwind going west to east, and it was going to be a much shorter, about an hour or so shorter flight. So we were stoked about that. And so I don't, when I fly, I just put my seatbelt, like whatever the biggest setting is, just to make everybody happy, and I plug in. You're doing 500 miles an hour. If you hit something, I mean, what's your seatbelt going to do? Anyway, but wear your seatbelt. So as we get into the Cleveland area, we're only about 30 minutes from landing. We're real excited about this. And man, we hit weather. It was like being on a roller coaster ride, except we're not on a roller coaster. I mean, my rear end came off the seat, so I slugged that thing down, and it was really, really rough. People were hitting the call button.
Yeah.
Like,
it was like crazy weather, and like we're being tumbled around, and then some idiot like hits the call button, and they're like, excuse me, if it's not an emergency, please don't hit the call button. It's like, come on.
Yeah.
People, not so much common sense here.
So about the 35-minute landing there turned out to be about 45, 50 minutes. So we figured something was up, and the pilot took up even higher where it got smooth again. Anyway, he comes on and says, we got some bad weather in Cleveland, so we're diverting. Oh, and by the way, airlines only give you enough fuel to get from where you're going. I mean, from where you are to where you're going, and that's about it. So they don't have a whole lot of extra. So he's like, yeah, we're pretty much, we don't have the fuel to circle, so we're going to go land in Buffalo. So we land in Buffalo. So the idea there is we're going to land in Buffalo, we're going to get fuel, and go back out, okay? So, probably 2.5 hours extra. It sucked, but whatever. Well, we get there, we land, and we get in this, like, FBO. It's like this private area where they put private planes, and it's like, it's like the alley or something to an airport. So we're out there, and the engines are off, and the air is not working. It's hot. It's miserable. There's no gate. I mean, we're just like sitting on the side. So finally we get fuel. We've been there about an hour at this point, just being miserable. And the captain comes on and says, hey, good news. We got fuel. Bad news is we broke the cockpit window when we closed the door. And so this plane's going nowhere. Well, there's very few flights that are going from Buffalo to Cleveland because it's like probably 20-minute flight. So we wait another 20, 30 minutes for the little taxi tractor thing to pull us to an actual gate. We get to the gate, everyone's all upset and aggravated, and they say, listen, we'll give you a hotel voucher, but there's no guarantee that there's going to be any planes going out tomorrow. Remember the one option they gave us?
Yeah, they said you could go to Orlando and then go back to Cleveland. We're like, no.
Yeah, so
that took longer.
Or you could rent a car, we'll pay for it, so we opted for that. Well, lo and behold, you can probably figure out where this is going. There's 30 people in the 2 lines that are open, and there's no cars. So long story short, we have no car, no hotel, and no plane, and we're in Buffalo. So we find the first shuttle. I don't even know where, it was Motel 6. I'd be like, all right, leave the light on. Anyway, we go to the Hilton, which worked out good. And then we spent the next hour or so trying to find a car that we could rent from there, and we could drop off it in Cleveland Airport. And then we finally found one. So Kim and I were like, listen, we're going to get up at 6 a.m. and be there because it's going to be a mob, craziness. Anyway, we ended up getting there, and they actually gave us an upgrade for free, and we drove a Kia Sorento all the way back to Cleveland. So that was our story of getting home from SHOT Show.
And Frontier sucks. They're not going to reimburse me for the hotel, only for the rental car, even though they promised. So don't fly with them.
We'll see about that. This is the Prodigy double stack. Got a very smooth action to it. Very positive safety. The trigger is pretty amazing. There's the reset and the brake. Looking forward to shooting this one day.
So what you got there, Neil?
Hey, we got the SA-35 right here. Pretty nice, decent trigger in it. Pretty good action, good safety. Very nice little gun for a high power. So we got the Emissary right here. Real flat trigger. Action for the safety. Really crisp. Trigger pull. And it's pretty amazing. I can't lie, the reset.
Pretty awesome. This is a new Smith & Wesson competitor. It's an all-metal gun. It's got the new trigger in it. It's got an incredible little reset in there. It's got a nice little cut there in the front. It's all aluminum. It's got a mag well on it. Extended mag release. Looks like a pretty awesome cut. Obviously, it's got some lightning cuts up in the barrel as well. And it's also ready to go if you want to put your red dot on it. So we got the new 5.7 offering here by Smith & Wesson. That is a polymer frame and a stainless steel upper with a optics ready cut on it.
Well, we hope you guys enjoyed our story. If you haven't already, make sure you follow us here on YouTube. Follow us on TikTok now, at Geauga Firearms, on Instagram, on Facebook, on Rumble. We put all of our premium content on Patreon. Make sure you look for that glove video. You can check out that funny little dog short I made as well. And until next time, remember, it's always better to be judged by 12 than carried by 6.